All right. What is going on with the stream health today? It's very unhealthy. Hmm. Very odd. Hmm. Well, I'm here at any rate. I'm going to try to do a couple of things here to make this a little more watchable. Sorry about being late today, folks. Got a little carried away with Diablo 2, to be quite honest. Nothing speaks professionalism like being late to your own stream. Nothing but the finest YouTube streaming here. Cover up my face. I'm sure you guys enjoyed that. Hmm. Yeah. That might be a little more better. Well, that's very weird looking. Huh. Didn't think it would quite capture the arm there, but it did. We'll get this rolling as soon as we get even the first person here that is interested in checking out the audit number 3 of my collection, where I'm just basically going through and musing over the cards that I've collected over the years. May even get into commons and uncommons, depending on how far this segment stretches. I mean, what I have here in most of these books are basically just rares and mythics. I even skipped a whole chunk of Magic's history where I was absent. I wasn't 100% absent, but it was mostly MTGO, so I don't really have a lot of cards to show for that era. That was, wow, probably 2004 through, well, really through Kaladesh. I picked up some cards and put them into my collection, but I was only hit and miss. I have very, very few cards for that like 7 or 8 year period. Started getting back into it a little bit in Kaladesh for my daughter, and I have added some of these. Now, I did not draft or play much during Kaladesh, but I did start collecting because I absolutely love those Kaladesh gift collector boxes for storage ideas. So I bought a number of them. That's why I have a chunk of Kaladesh plus Amonkhet. And then I kind of dipped out again a little bit. We'll go through what we've got here. So I do have... Oh, wow. That is terrible lighting. Let me see if I can't fix that a little bit. All right. And I'm back. Wow, I'm getting lots of warnings about my connectivity. So sorry if it's coming through a little bit choppy today. I don't know what more I can do about it. When we get some interaction going here in the chat, I'll actually even open a couple of packs today just to see what we get. People like watching packs getting opened, so why not? Plus, I've been opening packs on the Sunday streams when I've been doing the Diablo content, so why not mix and match? Now, you can see here that I did pick up extra copies of some things. I clearly did not open these mythics with the relatively low numbers of cards that I have here. I don't necessarily want to call them specs. They're just cards that I liked, right? And they were fairly cheap. They're cards I could see me using, cards I could see other people wanting. So why not pick up an extra few copies? I like the idea of the interaction with all the instants and sorceries for metallurgic summonings. These are actually fairly recent acquisitions. I picked them up when Strixhaven was coming out, because I just like the idea of having interaction with instants and sorceries, especially if you copy them, which I'm a big fan of, like the forking effects and whatnot. There's lots of copies now actually in standard, which is kind of cool. And what metallurgic summoning says, which I can't really get the focus in on that. That's kind of crazy. I think it's trying to focus in on the cards in the background there. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token where X is that spell's converted mana cost. And then you can exile metallurgic summonings and return all instants and sorcery cards from my graveyard to my hand. I can only activate that, though, if I have 6 or more artifacts. So I guess it would have a place in like a Urza deck. Just seems like a card that could be good at some point. And it's not really bad as it is. It's an enchantment, so it's not all that easy to remove. I also like Rashmi. Yeah, another Simic card. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, reveal the top card of your library. If it's an on-land card with converted mana cost less than that spell's, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you don't cast the reveal card, put it in your hand. So it's either like a draw effect or a free cast. So she seems pretty good to me. I've never built a Saheeli Rai deck. Lots of cards. Like I said, I didn't really play during this era. Didn't really get any foil rares of any note. Going through here, just looking at cards that I'd like to point out. I do like DePaula. I think she can be pretty good in a Dwarves Matter deck. Aetherflux Reservoir, obviously a great card. I probably should have picked up extra copies, but I did not. The infamous Smuggler's Copter, which I have not broken myself. But yeah, that caused a big old stir. And Panharmonicon. That is something I really haven't gotten the nuance of building in my decks. I do have decks that revolve around Aetherflux Reservoir, like the life gain decks, where you use the, oh boy, I'm going to have to look up that card. Oh, wow, yeah. My streaming is looking terrible today. Sorry about that. No idea what I can do to fix it. But let me look up that card I'm talking about that plays real well. It's not Glorious Anthem, which I want to keep calling it. Oh, boy. Seems like my internet is just awful. If this doesn't get better, I may have to just cut the stream short. If that happens, I'll at least open the 2 packs to give you guys the joy of opening cards with me and the excitement that goes along with that. I know it's rare. I know it's white. Not the Herald. Not Catastrophe. Not Remember. There we go. Angelic Chorus. So, let me save that image and I'll open it up on stream for you. So, Aetherflux Reservoir. Oh, wow. So you can't even see the entire book. Let me see. Oh, there. So, Aetherflux Reservoir, or Aetherflux, however you want to pronounce it, along with the Angelic Chorus, which I'll have in just a second. Or not, because I'm pro at this. Hey, doing well, Chris. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to open a pack here soon while you're still here because my streaming health is very bad today. So I was just kind of auditing and hopefully share some stuff with you guys. Okay, so there it is. So the Aetherflux Reservoir, along with Angelic Chorus, and then putting in big cards like Sarah Avatar and I think it's called the Soul of Eternity, that their power and toughness are equal to your life total. So when they come in, they essentially double up your life total, and they're huge creatures, give you lots of life, and then you just laser beam people down. It's just a fun deck. It certainly has lots of Achilles heels. But all those cards are pretty powerful in and of themselves. So you just have a bunch of life gain, and you just nuke people down. Bolts to the face. 50 life. So at any rate, that's kind of the idea of the deck that I have for the Aetherflux Reservoirs. What have I built with anything in here? Not a damn thing, but I do like the Aven Mind Sensor, but it does seem like that has been printed the dickens out of. This card has suddenly shot up. The Anointed. Oh, let me get rid of this image. Sorry about that. I like the Aven Mind Sensors. Flash and Flying. If an opponent would search a library, that player searches the top 4 cards of the library instead. The Anointed Procession, which I have not used, but that has really shot up in value over the last few months. Nothing else here really stands out as really a card of interest or something I am building or have built decks from. I'm really not a big fan of these dual cards. I like the idea and I like flexibility, but none of them seem to be juicy enough for me to really want to play in my decks. Now, I did go out and pick up these Overwhelming Splendors. If you don't have copies of them, I recommend picking them up. If you're not familiar with the card, not sure if I can get it to focus here. I'll read it in any case. So it's an enchantment aura curse, which I think might even have some room today. It is super expensive at 2 white and 6 other, but it is super powerful. And you enchant another player, and creatures enchanted player controls lose all abilities and have base power and toughness of 1. Enchant activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities. So, it not only hoses their creatures and completely nerfs them, but any other like enchantments or artifacts or lands really that aren't mana abilities. Yeah, that's a no-no. I wonder if that would even cure, what are those, Faceless Havens problems or all those activated lands that turn them into creatures. I bet that would stop that. Mirage Mirror, highly recommend that if you don't have one of these, pick this up. This pretty much goes into just about every commander deck. I need to pick up more copies while they're still cheap. Maybe they'll reprint it. It's a 3 casting cost artifact for 2 colorless. Mirage Mirror becomes a copy of target artifact, creature, enchantment, or until end of turn. If you can't find a use for that in a game, wow. Because it's not just yours, it's anything on the board. Not only that, it doesn't say that you can only activate it as instant, or it doesn't say you can only activate it as a sorcery or on your turn. So, like I said, that can, you want to talk about flexible, holy moly. So the Primal Amulets, if you're not familiar with what these are, they came from Ixalan. 4 casting cost. Instant and sorceries cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on Primal Amulet. If there are 4 or more counters on it, you may remove the counters and transform it, basically flip it over. And on the other side is a land, the Primal Wellspring. You tap it to add 1 mana of any color. When that mana is spent to cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets of the copy. So it essentially turns it into a permanent fork. I don't want to call it ramp, but a mana generating fork. Crazy. The Growing Rock, more Primal Amulets. I guess you could say I spec'd on it, but I really think that card is just complete gas. I have my Jake and Joel signed 2-headed giant for being a patron of theirs. Picked up this Teferi Hero of Dominaria in a very, very cheap eBay auction. I think I paid them $24 for the whole box that they had. And that was with shipping. And I think there were like 3 Shocklands in there, a Smothering Tithe, the Hero of Dominaria, 2 of those like Elf versus something decks. I don't remember what they are exactly, but I mean it was probably $150 to $200 worth of value for $24. But you know, I don't know if it was something that they just wanted to get rid of, or a girlfriend. I feel bad if somebody kind of stole those cards, but it looked from the collection like somebody who just got into it didn't really gel with it, so they decided, hey, I'm going to sell these for whatever I get for them. I think I picked those up like last year around this time. Karn's Temporal Sundering. I love Karn. Karn is one of my favorite characters in all of Magic's lore, and I wanted to try to get a copy of every card that has a picture of Karn on it. I am nowhere close to that. Oh, wow. How could I possibly skip over these two cards? So there's lots of power actually on this page. The Elish Norn, Grand Cenobite. If you're not familiar with what the Elish Norn is, which there are all kinds of like, well, not all kinds, but there's secret layer with that. You see it oftentimes featured on commander decks, on like command zone and all the commander's quarters and that kind of stuff. But Elish Norn is a 2 white and 5 colorless 4/7 Praetor. That has vigilance. Other creatures you control get +2/+2, and creatures opponents get -2/-2. Okay, I don't even have to say much more about that. Primeval Titan. I believe that one is banned in Commander. I'd have to look that up. But just a beast of a card. The Temporal Sundering is just basically, take another turn. I got it mainly for the picture on it with Karn. Because like I said, I'm kind of a Karn fan. A Joda, I did buy this Helm of the Host. I did buy this Dawn of Hope on, when I say buy, I mean like auction, that kind of stuff. Maybe TCG Player. I don't remember exactly where I get all these things. Also picked up a couple copies of Mages of the Balance for board wiping. Picked up a couple copies of Beast Whisper because I think it's a very, very strong card. And they're super cheap because they put them like as promos and things. So I think it's a fantastic card. If you're not familiar with the Beast Whisperer, is a 2/3 body, 4 casting cost, 2 green, 2 others. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Card draw engines, yeah. What more can you say? I actually like Dawn of Hope. If you're not familiar with that card, I'll go ahead and read out what it does. And Thousand Year Storm, sorry. That one I opened in a pack, actually. So Dawn of Hope. It's an enchantment, 1 white, 1 colorless. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 2 and draw a card. So a white card draw engine. Fantastic. It also has another ability of pay 3 and a white, 3 colorless and a white. Create a 1/1 white soldier with lifelink. Anything else? The Pelt Collector, decent card. Nothing else. I mean, Domri-ish. I know that some of these can be harsh index, but not super impressive cards. The Hydroid Krasis. I think I might even have a couple of those. Do I? Nope, just the one. Smothering Tides. So, Smothering Tides, I picked up 4 copies of those for $60 like about a year ago. And then I got the 5th one in that collection that I bought from the guy. So what more can you say about Smothering Tide? That's just a fantastic card in Commander. Gutter Bones. I don't know why I have so many of those. I had to have opened those. He might not be too bad with that Skeletal Enchantment. I'll have to look into that. Not really anything else here that I'm too crazy about or have any good stories about. Simic Ascendancy. Just happened to open those with the packs of Ravnica Allegiance that I opened. This alternate art to Fairy. I even have it, I even kept a note here with the card itself because very appreciative of this. I won this on a Foil Quest, watching Foil Quest. And the thanks from Jake. So I can't remember who I won it from, but thank you again, whoever I did. Single Combat is another board wipe that I have for a Turgid deck that I have built the Dread Horde Arcanist. That's another good card from War of the Spark. Gilded Goose. I did buy this one but got it on eBay. I just think it's a great card. Same thing with Chulane and Corvold. Most of these. I bought several copies of Clackbridge Troll. There's actually 8 copies here. I think it's an amazing card, and I got it for like 35 cents a piece. I think it's a fantastic black card. I mean, an 8/8 for 5. Okay. Doom Foretold is part of that Turgid deck. And I left space to pick up more cards from Throne. Well, Ravnica, Throne. So what we'll do, before we get to we're only going to do 2 of my binders today. But what we'll do before we get to the next binder is we'll go ahead and crack a pack. So what's going on with you guys out there today? Anything interesting? What's going on in the world of Magic? Yeah, Elish Norn is awesome. I'm pretty sure there is a secret lair. So I'll just give you a peek. Yep, we'll be getting into. I skipped forward from the last few collections all the way to relatively recent times with Ravnica, and then have Theros Beyond Death here that we'll start with next. But we're going to crack some packs first. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those in that binder, I'd say is probably most of the value in it were cards that I purchased, you know, not from pack openings, but buying singles. And unlike what we're going to be getting into soon. So which one do you guys want to see first? The Chandra or the Lily pack? And thank you both for stopping in, by the way. If you wouldn't mind, please hit that like button if you haven't already. Must be horrible delay. I hope that it's not too choppy, because it seems just absolutely miserable. I like a stream health notification here that just keeps going from green to yellow to red. So it must be pretty miserable coming through on the stream today. I'm very sorry about that. See if I can't enhance this chroma key a little bit. Ah, that's still annoying. Might be able to enhance it a little more without me disappearing, but then might start missing part of my head. I think it's about as good as I'm going to get it without starting to see through me too much. You can obviously see through my mic a little bit here, looking at my moves. Well, I'm not seeing you guys picking a pack here, so I'll go ahead and roll. Odds left, evens right. Oh, did my... It sure did. Huh. Why would it do that? My overhead camera decided to stop working. Should have that fixed here momentarily, hopefully. Because that would make for a really poor pack opening. Oh, wow. That really kind of jacked up the... Focus. All right, so here we go. Odds left, evens right. Odd groups go left, even groups go right. Let me just roll it right off the screen, but you know what I did roll, and I have to keep it? Looky, looky. Looks like we are going with Miss Liliana first. We've already pulled Terror of the Peaks out of this stack. This is out of that same one. That and the Containment Priest. So I'm not all that hopeful that there's going to be much packs, but you never know. That's why we crack them. Let's see how our focus is doing. Not great, not horrible. That looks like about as close as I can get it to you guys without it going out of focus. All right, so we will just get through these. Frantic Inventory, Gloom Sower, Titanic Growth, Destructive Sphere, great card for blue control. Though I don't really like playing against blue control, and I don't play it very often myself. Roaming Ghostlight, Liliana Steward, the non-showcase version, or the non-purple version. It's still a really sweet looking, I don't know, I really like to show the artwork if I can. Boy, that's just terrible. I don't know what is going on today, but anyway, pretty sweet artwork. Since we already peeked at that last holy garbage card, might as well get it out of there. And I think it's a land on the back. That's actually a pretty sweet land. I like lands. I have an affinity for them. That's why I really kind of liked hanging out with MTG Peddler. I hope that someday he picks up his showing his basic land collection again and collecting them. I really was enjoying watching his journey with that Alpine Watchdog. A Falconer Adept, I gotta admit, not a card I've ever played. And let me see. 1 white, 3 human soldier. When Falconer Adept attacks, create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying that is tapped and attacking. For go-wide strategies, it doesn't seem horrible, especially if there's like a birds matter or flying matters. Hello, Vidalkin. You showed up just in time to see the pack cracking. Then we'll get back to the collection audit. And when I finish the next binder, which won't take too terribly long, we'll crack one more pack. So it's not going to be a horribly long stream today. Later, a Kite Sail Freebooter for Pirate Matters decks. And the rare is a Thieves Guild Enforcer. This was some value once upon a time if you're doing the Rogue Mill stuff. And then a Colossal Dreadmaw foil. So all in all, not terrible. Not crushing it, but not terrible. So I will take pack openings. So welcome, Vidalkin. Going to get back to the audit here. I am all the way up to Theros Beyond Death. Let me see if I can't zoom back out a little bit so that we can see the entire binder when I'm talking about it. This is the set that I started sort of backtracking and catching back up in Magic when the Rona first popped out. It was still pretty cheap to get Theros Beyond Death boxes. It was the first box I bought in many, many years. Well, at least since Kaladesh and Amonkhet. And I decided to buy several boxes of repacks on eBay at like $30 a box of repacks. So it was a bunch of bulk rares and just bulk everything, but they left all the lands in them. And I really love those lands. I really think that those lands are minimum at least 50. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what the lands look like. To call them the Pokemon lands or the energy lands, however you want to call them. But that's the main reason that I bought them, just as repacks. So I have like 500 or so of those full art Pokemon style lands. I think they're beautiful, especially the foil ones. I even bought like a full play set of 20 of the foils as well. Not unhappy about that at all. But I did pick up one box myself, which I ended up getting the Clothis, the Borderless Calyx, the Elspeth. He left the bulk Kior Bessie guy, but boy, have I played the hell out of this. Yeah, I have a feeling that it's due to the internet connection, and unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that, Sherry. So very sorry about the poor quality of today's stream. The only thing I could do is like start and stop the stream, stop and start the stream again. I'm kind of afraid to do that. I did end up pulling an Uro. What else of note you can get? I ended up buying extra. Hey, DJ. Just so you're aware, DJ, having some technical issues today, unfortunately. I don't think there's anything else I can do. Yeah, I'm afraid to like restart for fear it's going to take 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes to fix whatever's going on with the stream today. Let me see if there's anything else I can do to cut down on some of that. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Sorry, I'm looking at all the settings that I could possibly try to affect to make it better. I don't have anything else running on this computer, so it might be just the people in my house watching videos or doing something. If you give me just, you know, I am going to try to, oh boy, if I end the stream, I'll just have to start it back up again here. I'm going to do that though, because this is just awful. I'll be right back as fast as I can, guys.